There is a line running diagonally across New Jersey. You cannot see it on a road sign, but you can see it in the county borders. You can see it in the property deeds. You can hear it when someone argues about North Jersey and South Jersey. That line was surveyed in 1687. And it exists because for 26 years, New Jersey was not one colony. It was two. Two governments, two capitals, one colony. What could go wrong? New Jersey is one of the smallest states in America. It is also one of the strangest to have been assembled. It was given away by a man who did not legally own it. It was split in half by a 5-party deed. It let women vote decades before anywhere else and then took it back. So here's the question. How do you build a state out of that many reversals? The answer starts with a land grab that was, by the standards of the time, completely illegal. In the early 1600s, this land was Lenape-Hoking, home of the Lenape. Then the Dutch arrived and claimed the whole region as New Netherland, run out of Manhattan. The Swedes held a stretch of the Delaware for a while too. So in 1664, when King Charles II handed a huge slice of the American coast to his brother James, the Duke of York, there was a problem. It belonged to the Dutch. The king solved that the direct way. He declared war, sent a fleet, and took New Amsterdam, renamed it New York. Then on June 24th, 1664, the Duke of York signed away the land between the Hudson and the Delaware to two friends from court, John Lord Berkeley and Sir George Carteret. Carteret had held the Isle of Jersey for the crown during the English Civil War, so they named the place after it, New Jersey. Here's the detail that mattered later. The Duke gave them the land and the right to govern it. Two men, 3,000 miles away, now owned an entire province. And within 12 years, they would decide it was easier to just cut it in half. Berkeley got tired of it first. He sold his half to a group of English Quakers. That put two very different visions in charge of the same colony. Carteret's East Jersey was English, Scottish, and Dutch, organized on traditional lines. The Quaker West Jersey was something else entirely. On July 1st, 1676, 5 parties signed a deed splitting the province. Carteret on one side, Edward Ballinge, William Penn, Gowan Laurie, and Nicholas Lucas on the other. It's called the Quintipartite Deed, Quintipartite meaning 5 parties. East Jersey ran its government from Perth Amboy. West Jersey ran its from Burlington, and the Quakers wrote a founding document for West Jersey called the Concessions and Agreements. It separated church and state. It protected settlers from arbitrary authority. It was one of the most liberal governing documents written in colonial America. But there was a problem nobody had solved. Where exactly was the line? In 1687, a surveyor named George Keith cut it, the Keith Line. It was immediately disputed. It stayed disputed for 56 years. A second survey, the Lawrence Line, finally settled it in 1743. By then, the two governments were already gone. In 1702, exhausted by land disputes and quitrent fights, both sets of proprietors handed governing power back to the crown. Here's what's strange. They gave up the right to govern. They kept the right to own. The proprietors' land corporations survived into the 21st century. New Jersey was one colony again. But the line stayed on the map, and the people on either side of it had already spent a generation becoming different. Before the Revolution, one more thing had to be settled. In October 1758, at Easton, Pennsylvania, the Lenape ceded their remaining land claims inside New Jersey. The payment was 1,000 Spanish dollars. 18 years later, the war arrived, and New Jersey caught more of it than anywhere else in America. The National Park Service counts 296 military engagements inside New Jersey between 1775 and 1783. More battles and skirmishes than any of the 13 original states. The reason is geography. New Jersey sat between the British stronghold in New York and the American capital at Philadelphia. Every army going either direction went through. Washington crossed the state 4 times. He wintered his army here 3 times, including Morristown, in conditions worse than Valley Forge. December 26, 1776, Trenton. January 3rd, 1777, Princeton. June 1778, Monmouth. Trenton and Princeton came at the lowest point of the war. The Continental Army was collapsing. Those 2 victories kept it together. But the fighting here wasn't only army against army. It was neighbor against neighbor, loyalist and patriot militias raiding each other across the same counties for years. And in the middle of that war, on July 2nd, 1776, New Jersey wrote itself a constitution. They finished it 2 days before the Declaration of Independence. And they put something in it that no other state did. Article 4 of the New Jersey Constitution said the vote belonged to all inhabitants of full age worth 50 pounds. Read that again. All inhabitants. Not all free white men, not all male inhabitants. Every other state writing a constitution that year used words like male, freeman, or free white man. New Jersey didn't, so women voted. Free black residents who met the property test voted. There's a limit worth being precise about. Under the law of the time, a married woman's property became her husband's, so in practice, this meant unmarried women and widows who owned enough. Was it an accident? Some historians used to think so. But the wording was traced through 3 successive provincial congresses in 1776. They knew exactly what they were writing, and the legislature doubled down. In 1790 and again in 1797, it rewrote the election statute to say explicitly, he or she. Candidates campaigned for those votes. In close races, they mattered. They had 31 years. Nobody told them that. In 1807, a disputed local election over where to put a county seat produced more ballots than there were eligible voters. There were accusations that men had dressed as women to vote twice. The legislature's answer was not to investigate the fraud. It was to restrict the vote to free white male citizens. The same act removed the property requirement, which expanded the electorate for white men while cutting women and black residents out entirely. It was sold as reform. So was New Jersey ahead of its time? For about 30 years. Then it went backwards. And that wasn't the only thing this state was about to take its time on. New Jersey was a slave state, not by the usual definition, but by every practical one. On February 15, 1804, the legislature passed an act for the gradual abolition of slavery. New Jersey was the last northern state to pass one. Now read what the act actually did. It freed nobody on the day it passed. Anyone already enslaved stayed enslaved for life. Children born to enslaved mothers after July 4, 1804 were declared free, but had to serve their mother's owner until 25 if male, 21 if female. Historians call them slaves for a term. On paper, they were free. In daily life, there was no difference. By 1830, over 2,000 people were still enslaved in New Jersey. In 1846, the state passed an act to abolish slavery. The title was accurate. The contents were not. It declared slavery abolished, and in the same law, converted every remaining enslaved person into an apprentice bound to their present owner. Apprentices for life. That was the actual legal category. At the 1860 census, 18 people in New Jersey were still classified as enslaved. Then the Civil War. And on March 16, 1865, the New Jersey legislature voted to reject the 13th Amendment. It passed nationally anyway. New Jersey ratified it 10 months later on January 23, 1866, the same day Governor Marcus Ward signed the state amendment that finally ended slavery here. Slavery outlived the Confederacy in New Jersey by months. So, how do you build a state out of that many reversals? Carefully, and you don't fully finish. Because that line from 1676 never actually went away. It still runs through the county borders. It still shows up in property records handled by proprietor corporations that outlived the colony itself. New Jersey is one state. It has been since 1702. It has just never entirely agreed to be one place. Which one got you? The colony that was two colonies, the women voting in 1797, or the fact that slavery in New Jersey outlasted the Civil War? Tell me below. And subscribe every episode, one state, the real version.